and they took us out to dinner at like a nice Hollywood like steakhouse. And we went there, and it was lovely, and it was nice. It was across the street from where they used to film the Trixie and Katya show.
Of course. I only know that because of existing near you and Ava.
Yeah. Side note, Ava is probably going to be our last guest of the season, and you guys are not... I don't think anybody knows.
I'm just going to sit in the corner.
Unless you're in our friend circle, I don't think you understand the dynamics that Ava and I have. I'm sorry. We'll see if there's anything salvageable.
Yeah. They're going to set me up with a chair in the corner, and I'm just going to watch.
Yeah. And honestly, that chair is kind of U-shaped anyway. You've been in there plenty of times.
Wait a minute.
Welcome to No Sad Face, the toxically positive Kingdom Hearts podcast. I am your host, PJ from Cabletown. Here is my co-host, regular Pat. Hello, hi. Fun story, actually. We've been recast. The first season was actually not Pat and me. I know you guys think that, but it's not. I was played by Sean Astin, actually, in the first season.
Yeah, and I was played by David Boreanaz.
They ran out of money.
The budget we have. That's why we started the Patreon, is because we are in a lot of debt.
So much.
We gotta pay
David still hasn't been paid.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's also Pat's news segment for the day. Pat, what's going on?
Breaking news, folks! Right?
God,
we actually have news this time. So we are for a peek behind the curtain, and please do pay attention to the men behind this curtain. Yeah. We have been recording pretty far in advance. We have episode 4 already in the books, but we are recording this before episode 3 releases, obviously, because you're listening to episode 3.
It is going to print, and David messaged me this morning and said, get Pat on the line now.
It's already in the process of being edited and put together. It is March 29th, and we got some new Nomura art celebrating the 24th anniversary of the series.
We sure did. We absolutely did. Another look at Zane behind the umbrella, as it were.
He loves that.
He sure does, from another perspective. It is what it is. I mean, a major theme of Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to be multiple perspectives, so sure. I think it's neat. Hydrangeas in the picture. That's cool, too. Flower language, upcoming thing. Part of the theme for next year's March Caprice. So, I mean, it's nice, it's cool, it's chill, it's whatever. There's also a handwritten message in the art from Nomura himself, in Japanese.
Yeah, read it to me.
It says, "We're working hard towards the 25th anniversary."
Now, that is weird. And I don't know if that's a translation thing, or if it's just a weird thing to say in any language. But
that's my translation of it. You could also say, like, we're doing our best for the 25th anniversary, something like that.
Right. So, I'll be celebrating my anniversary with my fiance on April 1st, and I don't think the thing that I'm going to say is I'm working really hard for our 5th anniversary coming up next year.
Certainly not going to give her hydrangeas. That's for
sure. Definitely not. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, there's been a lot of, probably rightfully placed cynicism towards the, neglect, especially across these social media accounts, with regards to celebrating Kingdom Hearts and its various milestones. Obviously better to get something than nothing. At least they are acknowledging that they are working on things, and
typical man a day late.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, even with the time zones being taken into account,
it was wrong for everybody. It was wrong for everybody. He waited until it was wrong for everybody to post it. Isn't that crazy?
Right. Yeah. Very classic.
Classic Kingdom.
Yeah, very classic Kingdom of him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I also was saying this, like, 24th, obviously in the context of the drought, it would be nice to get more substantial stuff than this, but I'm not, the big ones are the ones that end in 0 and 5. So to me, I'm like, I'm not expecting, a groundswell here.
Well, it's interesting as well. People thinking, like, does this mean that the 25th anniversary is when it's coming out? Does this mean that we're not getting any news until the 25th anniversary now?
Right.
Both are valid interpretations and questions. I mean, I don't think it'll come out in a year, but
no, yeah.
I do wonder, like, is this really it? And it's interesting. Hydrangeas are an interesting choice. Hydrangeas are an interesting choice because for two reasons. In flower language, they are a very solemn flower. I mean, they're heartfelt, they're earnest, they're about gratitude. They can also be about apologies. Maybe he's sorry bad that's taken this long. Ava told me that in the olden days, the family of the bride would give hydrangeas, as a wedding gift, because they're poisonous. And so if anything were to go wrong, the bride can poison the husband. And that's interesting. But I think the most interesting thing about it is that in Japan, hydrangeas are the mark of summer. They bloom in the rainy season in Japan primarily, more than anywhere else in the world. I think specifically they bloom in Japan early to mark the beginning of summer there. So
people are like, okay, could be hinting towards some sort of summer news or announcement.
Yep.
Thank God we have some fucking botanists in the community, man.
Yeah.
I didn't know any of this.
Your green thumbs paid. Yeah,
leave a green thumbs up on the episode.
Yeah, seriously, what is it with you guys not thumbsing up the episode? I mean, what?
PJ sent me like the analytics on episode 2, and I was like, oh, that's impressive. Except for the like to view ratio, that's fucking awful. That's
this isn't March Caprice anymore. What the fuck?
I just say that as somebody who's like, been around the block with looking at these things, and I'm like, huh.
Yep. All right, back to the episode that we've recorded.
Yep. Enjoy.
But yeah, today we're talking about voice acting, Pat.
Yeah. That's
I'm excited.
Should be easy and non-controversial.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm just gonna get this out here right now.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say this. Hey, everyone, get your pillow and a blanket statement ready.
So here's the thing: voice actors are human beings that sometimes get things like wealth. They sometimes get things like power. Sometimes they just lose their fucking minds and do horrible, terrible things.
Yeah.
There are so many controversies in Hollywood, and unfortunately, the Kingdom Hearts voice cast is full of people who have run into controversies. And
I can think of like 6 right now.
Yeah, it's a lot, right?
Yeah.
It's not great. And that's not the point of this episode. It's not the point of this podcast.
Yeah.
But I don't want you guys to think that we are like ignoring that these people can be problematic, because they can be problematic in all sorts of ways.
This is not us trying to like, pray at the altar of these people. Like they are very much fallible. But we don't want you to think that we're like, like PJ said, willfully ignorant of it or anything.
Again, that's not the point of this podcast. What we don't support is people hurting people.
Yeah.
People being outwardly malicious, people taking advantage of other people. Like, across the board, that's just not great. And we don't condone it. We believe survivors. We believe victims. Again, we're not in a lot of these communities, and sometimes I will hear something just totally out of pocket. And I'll say this about, parasocial relationships as well. I have worked on the internet for almost 20 years at this point, particularly with YouTube creators. I get it. I know what ends up happening. I think being a fan of something is really cool. I think that fandom spaces should be protected. And I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with being a fan of a human being or their work.
Mm-hmm.
I do want voice actors who want to dabble in communities. If you're out there, if you're listening, just be careful. My word of advice would be, please have very strong boundaries with your audience. That's my word of advice for voice actors. For fans, don't let people take advantage of you. Again,
that too. It goes both ways.
Strong boundaries. They aren't, be aware of power dynamics.
Yeah, I mean, I can say this with a tiny modicum of experience, in that I'm just a guy that like makes YouTube videos about these games, and I've had to like, have boundary conversations with people just from like streaming to an audience of 50 to 60 people on a random weekday. So I can only imagine the stress that goes into being a known quantity that people have been engaging with your work for years, and now you finally have the chance to interact with them. It just, opens yourself up to a quagmire of controversies, so you gotta be careful.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little easier to talk about, like, at-large issues that affect communities rather than honing in on specificity.
Yeah, sure.
I think later in the season, when we talk about specific fandom spaces that have existed in the past, we're going to run into some problems that have happened.
Mm-hmm.
And from like part of this season is kind of taking the Kingdom Hearts fandom at like an anthropological view.
Mm-hmm.
So occasionally we might run into that, but when it comes to voice actors and Hollywood and things that are happening right now, this is not the episode. This is not the statement. This is not. This ain't it, Chief. You know, I'm sorry. That's just not happening. Sorry.
So now that we've got the fun stuff out of the way,
I have an anecdote voice acting related anecdote that I have been sitting on for a month because we've not recorded a new episode since before the first one aired.
Yeah, true.
I have been waiting to tell you this.
Okay, I'm ready.
It's not great, but it's funny and stupid.
Okay.
Okay, so I want to start this off with context for you in case you've forgotten and for the audience in case they aren't aware.
Yeah.
Okay, so my boyfriend's parents are aware of Kingdom Hearts.
That's tough.
Mostly because his mom is a fan of Bowen Yang. Right. So Bowen has this podcast with his best friend Matt Rogers, and because he's a huge fan of Kingdom Hearts, whenever something even kind of remotely related to Kingdom Hearts pops up, he'll he'll lose it. Like Mandy Moore was on an episode, he talked to her about it, and she was like, I don't know what you're talking about. So somehow in my boyfriend's mom's mind, I have been linked to this. She's like, oh wait, Kingdom Hearts. That's the thing that PJ has like kind of a life about, right? Like, what are you going to Denver for? Oh, Kingdom Hearts. Oh, you're up for 2 awards? Yeah, for Kingdom Hearts. Yeah. So she kind of understands that. And anytime that she tries to talk to me about it, I'm like, I really can't explain this to you. and like, every time I try, like, we're both a little worse off for it. You know, I can tell that she like respects me a little less.
Yeah, it's like the Sims negative, like the red and minus symbols above her head. It's like, I don't like that.
Exactly. So they were in town last month. They came to visit us, and they took us out to dinner at like a nice Hollywood like steakhouse. Like one of those classic like 1930s Art Deco, like smoky, like you would see like Zazu pits in the corner if you were there in the 30s. So we're at dinner. We're at this Hollywood place. And his mom is like kind of rubbernecking. I'm like, oh, are you looking for like a celebrity? And she's like, yeah, I always look for them when I'm here. And sometimes I don't see anybody. And I'm like, oh, well, if there are any celebrities here, they're probably going to be like in a special room or in the back, or they've come in through like an alternate door or whatever, and we're not going to see anybody.
Yeah. And
she was like, oh yeah, you're probably right. No sooner does she say this than Billy Zane walks behind her.
Oh shit.
And he goes and he sits at the bar, and I go, oh my God. And so like I had to send her a text. I was like, I'm sending you a text so that I don't audibly say anything so that no one can hear me. But Billy Zane is sitting behind you at the bar, and he doesn't look anything like he did 30 years ago.
Right.
And she was like, really? He doesn't look anything like he did in Titanic. Like, how do you know what he looks like? And I got real quiet. And I was like,
well,
I've kept tabs on him because he played the bad guy in the first Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
I got real quiet, and she went, oh, I see. And then that was kind of the end of it for a while.
Yeah.
But on the way home, like hours later, in the middle of the night, we're taking them back to where they're staying. And then I hear from the back, I hear her pipe up, PJ, according to Reddit, the biggest mistake that Kingdom Hearts ever did was recasting Billy Zane.
I can't conceive of a more terrifying sentence than, my potential mother-in-law saying, according to Reddit, God knows what's coming.
So I've been waiting literally a month to tell you.
That's really cool. So, like, nobody in your party engaged with Billy Zane, though? You just let him be?
No,
that's nice of you.
It's kind of a mystery why he got recast. Like, there is no canon reason. Everybody says shit. There's actually no clear reason why he got recast, but he loved that character so much. Someone posted, I think, on Reddit a few years ago that they ran into him at, like, a con or something, and the person was like, I loved you in Kingdom Hearts so much. And Billy Zane was like, I loved that character. And then freehand sketched Ansem.
Like a bitchin' drawing of Ansem. Like, it was, like, too good for somebody who...
For no reference. Yes.
Like, do you know how many people play a character and then within that same year, like, have no idea what you're talking about if you, ask them a question about that? Like, my friend Kiwi did meet Travis Willingham at some sort of con type thing. And he asked Travis, and he's a Sed, for those that don't know. And he asked, like, do you know, like, what you're saying when you read these lines, like, the implications? And he's like, no, absolutely not. Like, it's all complete nonsense to me. So, Travis maybe not able to do the freehand drawing of a Sed.
I wanted to bring up a housekeeping thing really quick as well. We've changed the rules.
Oh, yes.
On our anti-form situation, our rage form, rather.
Yeah.
So it was that, we were kind of keeping tabs of who was the most negative, and at the end of the episode, we would go into a rant, whoever was the most negative. Okay, so I didn't like that it was me for 2 episodes in a row. realized that it was probably always going to be me.
It's possible.
New rules.
Yeah.
Whenever either one of us are overly negative during segments, we call each other out on the shit, and then we have to flip a coin.
Mm-hmm.
If it's heads, we're good to go. We can keep moving. If it's tails, we got to stop what we're doing and do like a 1 minute rant.
Right. So I don't have a coin. I just realized.
I mean, I was going to say I do, but you're not here. I mean, I could flip for you, but you just have to believe me.
Yeah, or I could do like an e-coin. Yeah, so we'll figure it out.
We'll figure that out. So there's that. And other than that, we'll just kind of keep tabs still throughout the season on who was the most negative overall. Yeah. And then we'll see what happens at the end. Yeah,
maybe we'll do some sort of Impractical Jokers-esque punishment.
You see, I'm not heterosexual, so I don't really know what Impractical Jokers was.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll figure something out. Speaking of, the reason why I wanted to bring this up was because for March Caprice, which just happened after this episode,
yes.
We did a little game. We did a little voice actor related game called Kingdom Bacon.
Yes, it was a good time.
Yeah, if the episode's running too short, we're going to play it now.
That's right. We don't know how long this episode's going to go, so...
So, let's just pretend like, this is all happening for the first time. And if it's going on too long, which I'm sure it will, I sounded like an idiot just now.
Yeah. Ha ha, fucking idiot.
You know what I realized, though? The whole point of a game is that, like, there's, like, a prize, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Usually.
Well, I won that game.
It's true.
I beat the shit out of you.
Well, in fairness, you came up with the game and the rules and, like, the amount of questions that would be asked during the game. So.
You could participate more at any point if you want.
That's fair.
So, you know what? I know what I want my prize to be.
Okay.
I want you to go into a rant right now.
Oh, no. A voice actor related rant, or could it be anything?
It can be whatever you want as long as it's Kingdom Hearts. And even if you can't think of anything Kingdom Hearts, you know what? I'll hear whatever you have to say, whatever. I don't care.
Dude, my fucking landlord is so useless. Like,
okay. Went in a different direction.
It never ends, dude. Like, we don't have control of our heating in our apartment. So for the first like 2 months of the winter, we didn't have any heating, which I actually preferred because the year prior it was on all the time, and it was just we had to have our air conditioner on. So we're just like fighting this temperature war in our own home. And now we got a drippy shower, profusely dripping for 3 days now, and they've yet to come and fix that, even after I put a work order in. This morning I said, anytime before 3 p.m., because that's when you and I are recording the podcast, 3 p.m. Eastern. Sure. And half an hour later, landlady responds, what times are good for you? I'm like, I fucking said 9 to 3 p.m. So
they're going to show up any second.
Yeah, and that's that. And I'm nervous about that because it's a couple minutes after 3 at this point, and I'm locked in.
Is it like a drip or like a dribble?
It's
shower.
You know
what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. We've all been there. I would call it something between the two. Yeah, a dripple.
Well, that was your minute. That was more sad than anything.
It was a little sad, but the silver lining is that we are looking into buying a house.
That was your first rant, and it was a doozy.
Yeah, sorry it wasn't about Kingdom Hearts. I like it a lot, so there's not too many things that bother me. Not that you don't. I just, No,
but I have so much to say. That's why we have a podcast.
Yeah.
But let's talk about it. Let's talk about the voice acting. So here's the thing. I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about what I know about the process.
Yeah.
Right? The early days of Kingdom Hearts. So I think it's important when you're looking at the early games, particularly Kingdom Hearts 1, it's important to remember that this was kind of at the advent of having voice acting in video games to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, you think about Final Fantasy X, that's the first Final Fantasy with the voice acting. That's 1 year prior to KH1.
Yeah. Yeah, this is all the same generation. We're only half a step away from, like, Mario 64.
Right.
With that fucking peach letter.
Yeah. Dear Mario.
Yeah.
I baked a dog shit cake.
Dog shit cake.
Yeah. Love that.
When I started playing video games, it was probably around 2000, 2001 when I was playing them on my own and not like watching my parents or whatever.
Yeah.
My first 2 video games that I ever tried playing on my own were Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Okay.
Which, fuck J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
That's not a negative thing. That's just a fact. And American McGee's Alice.
Oh, wow. Such culture at such a young age.
I know. I'm so excited for this weekend because we're definitely going to be talking about in the box art bracket.
Oh, yes. It'll happen.
I don't know if Alice made the cut, but I submitted it, and I think it's.
Oh, so you were the one vote for.
I was the one vote for Alice. Damn. Okay, so it's not on there.
Yeah,
I do think
not.
it has actually very great box art. Like David, pull up American Keys.
I remember thinking it looked cool.
I'll save it for the live stream.
Yeah.
But both of those had voice acting, and so I was like, oh wow, like we watching my parents play like fucking Kirby or whatever.
Yeah.
Like we're just going in a different direction now.
Right.
So for Square Enix, like, this is a big deal. This is something that, like, they're just getting their feet wet, particularly with localization. And in the earliest days of Square Enix, I don't think that they handled localization entirely in-house. I think they partnered with, like, other people, like other companies.
Okay.
I believe, and I don't have a lot of documentation that supports this, but I believe that EA helped them with localization in the early days.
Okay.
So parts of Kingdom Hearts, I think, were translated by EA.
Wow, that's scary.
The first one. I know.
Yeah.
So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I had no idea.
In particular, in the voice acting with the first game was handled by a company called Disney Character Voices, I think is the company that's like, we handle the video games, we handle the theme parks, we handle the tie-in merch. We are the people that keep the machine running, that contact everybody, that find sound-alikes for the celebrities. Like, this is us. This is what we do. So I think the first game was handled pretty much mostly by Disney in the voice acting field, which is why the Square Enix characters are all like
kind of biggish
B-list
names.
talent,
Yeah.
right? Like they're not anime voice actors.
You're right.
Ned Lott was the head of Disney character voices at the time, and I believe he was responsible for casting the first game. And I think that this is the case because he also gets a voice directing credit for Advent Children a couple of years later, despite the fact that like Disney character voices did not do that movie.
Right.
But they cast the Final Fantasy characters. And for most of the Final Fantasy characters, this is the first time that they had English voices ever.
Right. Like, we're talking big name, like Cloud Strife, not voiced until Kingdom Hearts 1.
Steve Burton was the first guy to play him in the States. David Boreanaz. And Disney character voices, this is the same team that was responsible for dubbing Ghibli movies in the late 90s and early 2000s, which is why there's crossover between Kingdom Hearts and Miyazaki.
You always find like young Disney actors in those Ghibli movie dubs.
Yeah, I think it's Whisper of the Heart that has David Gallagher and Brittany Snow.
Yeah.
Come off of Kingdom Hearts 2, and it was the same guy. And so that's a chunk of it. But another interesting thing is that, Tetsuya Nomura pushed really hard for Haley Joel Osment as Sora.
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise, they got them.
Yeah.
They got him. He's popped in. And there, a couple other things happened as well. I think David Gallagher, from his turn on Seventh Heaven, I think that they had called him in. Hayden Panettiere had been in Remember the Titans and in A Bug's Life, so like they were familiar with her.
Oh yeah, she's Dot in Bug's Life. I always forget that.
Dot. She's a little baby. I have to confess, I am not as familiar with the Japanese voice acting because those actors are everywhere. They do so much more. The only thing that I can kind of think of is that like the voice for Kairi was like young Nala in the Japanese making.
I was going to ask if you knew, like, because KH1 has, like you said, this sort of B-list, quality to it in terms of who they got for these original and Final Fantasy characters. Is there like an equivalent of that in the Japanese cast? If there's like, okay, this cast is not like career voice actors in anime and video games, and more so like people they're known for, Japanese movies or TV shows, like live action portrayals.
I think the vast majority of voice actors in the Japanese version of these games are Japanese voice actors who cover dubbing, who cover anime, who cover, video games. And I think that they all have, the culture is very different over there. And they all have various degrees of like, how well known they are, what projects they were in. Some of them are film actors as well. So there is a little bit of a difference, but they are blown away by the pedigree of voice acting in English. So much so that when Final Mix came along, they had the English dub.
Oh yeah, it's English dub with Japanese subtitles.
Yeah, it's a weird kind of dichotomy because there are plenty of American or even English speaking fans who are just like, get dubs away from me. I only want the original Japanese voice acting. And then, in Japan, they're like, we want to listen to the stars. We want to listen to the American dub. And so, the director's cut of these games are the English voice actors, which I think is very interesting. And I think, for me, going into the game and playing it, I didn't really look at... I rented Kingdom Hearts when I first played it. So I don't think I had, the user manual, so, I didn't know ahead of time who voiced who. I didn't know that Mandy Moore was in the game. I didn't know that, it was Christy Carlson Romano. I had no idea. And then, when I beat the game and the credits started rolling, it's oh my goodness. But of course, Haley was kind of the it kid. And so, it was a big deal getting him at that point. And I have to say, it is, I don't know if impressive is the right word, but it's definitely something that he has stayed Sora for over 20 years.
Yeah, the fact that he hasn't been recast just due to aging out of it, if it was going to happen, it would have been, between 1 and 2 probably.
Yeah, and I don't think it will. I think that his voice is kind of locked in at this point, and Sora's only getting older.
Right.
So I don't think that they'll recast him unless, he has another incident.
Yeah, which we alluded to.
So yeah, the first game came out. Voice acting, of course, was relatively new, like I said. So the original characters had that going for them. That was a huge draw. That was a huge marketing point. Another thing, of course, is that the Disney characters are their official voices. Even if they're sound-alikes, even if they're replacements, they are still the official Disney voices.
Right, those are the sound-alikes they would get for other Disney projects.
Right, except for Sean Astin, which doesn't make a fucking lick of sense.
That was one of your rants in season 1.
All right, I gotta flip my fucking coin.
No, you're fine.
Original voice actors pretty much came back for everything that they could, unless they were dead.
Yeah.
Or they just didn't do it anymore.
And sometimes they did it if they were old as fuck, like Alice and Wendy, Catherine Boma, yeah.
It's just nice. It's just nice, and it's I don't know, Kingdom Hearts is such a nostalgia pool that having all of those actors come back, and I don't know, it's Ken Page and Jodie Benson.
Pat Carroll.
Yeah, oh my gosh, Pat Carroll.
Brian Blessed.
Pat Carroll. Yes, absolutely. Robbie Benson. Yes, and of course Jim Cummings is Pooh. There's no comparison. And for someone playing the game for the first time, not really experiencing a good Disney video game before, not most of these characters never being in 3D,
right? And
then for Final Fantasy fans, most of them never having voice actors, it's a neat thing. It's definitely a neat thing. So when the game came out, the voice acting was kind of universally praised. And the direction for the first game is pretty good. There are a couple clunkers. But for what it is, which I think the process has been the same for every game, which is that the actors come in and the Japanese has been done first, right? And they stack voice recordings. So for example, if Riku is pulled into the studio for Sora, Riku's lines will already be recorded, so Sora will hear them in his headphones and act back on them.
Right.
But if it's the first time that they're doing it, then they'll have the Japanese. And they have to match tone, they have to match inflection as much as humanly possible, and they have to match timing. Right. Now, it's not like a normal dub most of the time where you have to get the lip flaps, but you do have to get the line within the time that it takes the Japanese person to do it.
Right.
Because they're not going to reanimate the whole freaking scene. Yeah. Because you couldn't do the line in the same amount of seconds. They are reanimating the scene, but it's mostly facial stuff rather than
not
the timing.
Cool. Right.
Another interesting thing is that even from the first game where there was a lot of low poly voice acting scenes, they were recording faces back in 2001, 2002. So that they could get the lip flaps exactly. They had cameras on all of the actors.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. I just thought they were sort of winging it.
Yeah. The voice actress that played Jane,
Nia Kelly.
Nia Kelly. She had an anecdote, I think, when she spoke at a school once forever ago, where, again, she's in the booth, and it's the engineers watching, and they're also conferencing in people from Japan. So they had Ned Lott in. They probably had another couple of executives in from Square and from Disney, and they had people over the phone from Japan. And they would take the line and they would review it and they would talk in private, and then they would, Skype back. They would intercom back in the actor, give a note, go again. And it takes forever.
Yeah.
It is such a long process to get this done. But Nye Kelly was talking about how she was recording her lines and it was fine, but like the way that the booth was lit, they were having a hard time tracking her mouth. And they knew that it wasn't her fault, so they were going back and forth about what to do. And she said, hold on. And she got on her purse and she got like the reddest lipstick that she could get to make the contrast on her face. So when that happened, they were all very happy about it.
Yeah, that's cool.
So yeah, they've done that since the very beginning. Wow. And like, oh my goodness, how tedious to have to listen back to like a language that you don't understand.
Right.
And try to like get the same meaning out of it. And the English voice acting is also one of the last things to get done. By the way, that'll be important later. So the game comes out, sequels are announced, and one of the biggest things that the Kingdom Hearts community has done for every game since then is try to guess or try to speculate on who will play the characters in the next games. Like, who are the new characters? It was such a big to-do trying to guess who Naminé, who Roxas, like who those voices were going
all the
to be.
organization members that you get in COM.
Organization members, Terra Aquaven, like, that's a lot of fun. That has just kind of gone on and on and on. I remember that there was a lot of speculation about Roxas before people even knew what his name was even. And there was one post that I remember seeing in like 2005 that was like, oh, it's going to be Jesse McCartney. And people tore that guy to shreds. They were like, they're not going to make
not the beautiful soul guy.
Yeah, and like every homophobic thing you could think of.
Like, I remember it too.
And even if you didn't feel that way, like it is kind of a random pull, especially because he was at that time was not known for voice acting.
Right.
So for someone to just be like, it's Jesse McCartney. Like, what? And I remember seeing that post and being like, how did this person know?
How did they know? Yeah, were they an insider?
It was just some person who had only posted a couple of times and never posted again.
So maybe they got him.
Maybe it was Jesse himself, because everyone knows if you're in the Kingdom Hearts community, nobody leaks like Jesse McCartney. Jesse McCartney is basically Pat Shower, just leaking and dripping news every chance he gets.
That's right. Well done.
That's right, though.
I will say, though, like, I remember Jesse McCartney being Roxas. That was, like, the first time I was cognizant of, like, a famous person being a voice in a video game, let alone Kingdom Hearts,
Jesse McCartney went off like a bomb in the community. Like, people were furious about it. With Brittany Snow, like, the pacifier had come out, like, it was fine, it was cool, it was whatever. It wasn't Hilary Duff, so, people were like, okay, that's a surprise.
Right.
But then people started noticing, like, wait, what do you mean Mandy Moore isn't Aerith? The idea that people could get recast had not really even been a thought.
Right.
Up until that moment. And I think the recasting in Kingdom Hearts is infamous. Mina Savari, one of the most hated performances in video game history.
Yeah.
It's not her fault. She's a very good and capable actress. I just don't know what was going on there. It's also worth noting, though, Kingdom Hearts 2 had a different voice director than Kingdom Hearts 1. Ned Lott was the original director. Kingdom Hearts 2, Bob Buchholz, who is an actor, director, I think he has like a voice acting company or works with a voice acting company called Spliced Bread or Sliced Bread. I think it's Spliced Bread. Anyway, Bob Buchholz has his own company, works with the company, has been the voice director of Kingdom Hearts ever since. Bob goes on to do, like, I think he did Advent Children. I think he worked with Square. I think his team is doing the remake Rebirth series for 7, the trilogy. So he's not beholden to Disney anymore.
Right.
Like, of course he works with Disney, but the voice acting direction, it gets a bit more Final Fantasy-y. As Final Fantasy kind of figures out what they're doing in terms of dubbing. So the recasting thing, Mina Savari is probably one of the most glaring recasts of Kingdom Hearts 2, but probably one of the most discussed ones is Billy Zane.
Yeah.
Who never comes back to play Ansem. Richard Epcar takes the role over. Remember how I mentioned that Bob Buchholz did a lot more anime stuff and video game stuff than his predecessor Ned Lott? Well, Bob Buchholz worked on Ghost in the Shell.
Mm-hmm.
And Richard Epcar was in Ghost in the Shell.
Right.
And Richard Epcar's character in Ghost in the Shell in Japan is voiced by the same voice actor who does Ansem.
Okay, so there's a bit more crossover there.
They did a voice match. They were basically like, what else did this person do? I worked with this person. We're going to have Richard Epcar do it. And that was it. Which is not, like, they don't really do that very often in Kingdom Hearts. But, it's an interesting thought process. Like, it's an interesting way of kind of, like, looking at trying to guess. So a lot of times when people are guessing, like, who the voice actors will be for upcoming games, the Japanese voice actors are already known. So they will try and, like, figure out, like, okay, well, this actor did this in this game, and the English version of this one is this.
Right.
And it's not that those actors would necessarily be bad for the role, but, like, it almost is never accurate. Like, they almost kind of never go in that direction.
Square peg, round hole kind of thing.
Yeah, square NX round.
Yeah.
So ever since then, it's been kind of an even mix of, like, surprise A to B listers. Disney cast remains consistent as much as humanly possible. And, like, a handful of, like, surprise teeny boppers, either from, like, popular shows or Disney stuff. And I think it's a good formula. I think it's a good mix.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I have no major complaints about any casting choices, really. I mean, maybe outside of Mana Safari, but...
And they fixed it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Andrea Bowen, right? For 3?
Andrea Bowen, yes, is in 3 and in the 1.5 commercial, which is a very strange thing that they did.
I did not know that.
I think that the voice acting of Kingdom Hearts is one of its best.
It's like music and voice
assets.
acting.
Yeah, that's kind of where we're at up until today. Like I said, things have not really changed in the process. It's always one of the last things that, you find out, which is also kind of why I get annoyed when people harass the voice actors, aside from the fact that you just shouldn't do it.
Yeah, just a bad thing to do to anybody.
Yeah, like, you shouldn't do it, but also, like, they're under NDA. They're not going to be able to tell you anything anyway, and also, they are the last to know.
Yeah, like you said, it's a very late thing that happens, so...
That's kind of where we're at.
Yeah.
Cool.
You
want to take a break?
Yeah, let's take a break and do whatever. Patreon.
Yes, the first couple of times that we've been recording, we haven't had patrons, but now the first episode is out.
Now
which, by the way, thank you, everybody.
We're having patrons.
We're having patrons, and honestly, a surprising amount.
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, so thank you so much.
Yeah, the Patreon is how we pay the people that make the podcast. Pat and I have not taken a dime, probably won't for a while.
Yeah.
But, the show is... The best stuff about the show is the stuff that Pat and I don't do.
It's so
the
true.
The music, the video, the art, the animation, that's all David and Esper. And honestly, like, we love them. We want them to have money in their pockets. We want them to keep working with us.
Yeah.
And we love having them around. So, of course, thanks to them, but also thanks to you for supporting us.
Yeah.
You can sign up for Patreon by going to patreon.com/nosadface, but also I've been doing some digging, some analytics, and I found out a surprising amount of people watch our show on their television. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to pop up a QR code.
Oh.
Look at how fancy we are.
And by that, you mean David's going to do it?
Well, I will make it for David.
Okay.
He can pop it. You can just scan this with your phone. We get all kinds of treats, all kinds of previews. We have a special secret channel in Pat's Discord.
Yeah.
Where, we're having a lot of fun. It's actually very chill.
Very chill.
And very calm. Not to dunk on the rest of your Patreon.
Well, there's obviously not as many people yet in the No Sad Face channel, but yeah, it's pretty even kill.
One of the perks is that, if you're a $7 Wayfinder, we're going to give you shoutouts. So we're going to give some shoutouts right now.
Yes, let's do it.
The first person is Sky9, who I know nothing about. Do you recognize that user?
I do not, but that must mean that we're reaching people that are maybe outside of our little bubbles prior to this.
That's true. And honestly, Sky9, what a badass.
Yeah.
You check out Skies 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's,
Devourer
one sky,
of skies.
One destiny? Not anymore. There's
9
at least
sky.
9.
Yeah.
Yep. Lucky number 9. Lucky number Sky. Thank you so much for being our first patron.
Wow.
We'll never forget you. If you're in the comments or whatever, let us know who you are. Like, let us identify you.
Yeah, dox yourself.
Throw flowers.
Address, please.
Yeah, for sure.
Social security number.
Absolutely. You know who the second patron was? Second in the list, but perhaps tied for first in our hearts with everybody else. Gail. Gail the Gourd Guy.
Gail the Gourd Guy, yes. patron of mine as well.
Was not really listening to us before the second season launched and went all in, I believe.
The binge.
What a coolio. What a good person.
Can't imagine binging No Sad Face. That's just being inundated with us.
I know. From the first season as well. Honestly, though, this season, I feel like we're going to have some hits and misses as well. So
I think so, too.
Thanks for sticking around.
Thank you so much, Gail.
Last one, someone else I don't know. Erickson J. Erickson. They have Prismel as their icon.
Great taste. We love a Prismel. Nice.
Sure do. Absolutely.
Erickson. You could.
You know what?
You could talk to some artists in our neck of the woods to get a custom Prismel of your own design.
Oh, yeah.
It's happened before.
And it'll probably happen again, maybe.
Yeah, better.
Yeah. And I respect you so much. I'm not going to make a SpongeBob joke about Leif Erikson.
Hinga dinga durgan. I'll do it.
Okay, well, I think you get more leeway because I'm known for reading them to filth.
Yeah.
And that was the Patron Corner.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
We're back.
Got to stretch for your stuff, your neck of the woods here. What's going on? What's happening?
Well, I guess we're gonna talk about voice acting in the more modern context through a modern lens.
But Pat, nothing's happened.
Well, I guess we'll go back to KH3 and count that as modern times, even though we are past 7 years now. I kind of wanted to analyze maybe more recent facet of the voice acting life. I would say when did this start? Probably a little earlier than the pandemic. I feel like I'm talking about Cameo. Cameo.
Oh my God.
Is this website, for those who don't know, where you can pay a modest fee in some cases to have an actor or singer or athlete, any person of usually moderate notoriety at most, to record a message of your choice, either for yourself or for anybody. I've received, I think, 2 cameos as gifts throughout my time on YouTube. But it is also home to several Kingdom Hearts voice actors who have, I guess, because they're not exactly working a ton on specifically KH right now.
That's true.
They have an outlet to make a little extra cash. And so I've managed to find 36 voice actors who have participated in...
my God, that's so many.
Yeah,
I was not anticipating that at all. No, I had no idea.
Well,
maybe a couple.
What's crazy, PJ, is that there were even more, but they've gone dormant on Cameo. So if I'll type in a name and it'll say, "Oh, this many people are begging for this person to come back to Cameo. Sign this to get their." What's that?
Please come back.
Yeah,
Dad. Please come back with the milk.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of somebody who was on there and isn't anymore.
You know who is on there? Nikki Blonsky from the movie Hairspray.
Oh my God! Enough of the Hairspray. Enough. This movie's gonna haunt me.
If you know, you know. If you know, every gay person is howling right now.
Yeah,
that's like a meme. It's like a thing.
Well, speaking of gay people, one of the most expensive.
Oh no! Where's this going?
The most expensive person on Cameo that was also in a Kingdom Hearts game. I've given you a clue. Do you know who that is?
The most expensive person on Cameo who was in Kingdom Hearts, and they're gay?
And they're gay, yeah. Yeah, here's the thing about the main, the big Disney actors, is none of them are on Cameo, and I feel like that's gotta be because Disney is no way. Bill Farmer, we love you, but you're pushing probably, 70 at this point, maybe older?
Oh, yeah.
We are not letting you just have carte blanche for what you're going to say in a Cameo message. So no Sensational Six or anything of that likeness.
Who was gay in Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah, it's not going to be, a huge name in terms of the KH scene. I will say a one-off role for this person.
A one-off? Someone who's gay in Kingdom Hearts. Oh man, I'm flopping. I'm floppy at tilapia.
I guess we're not quite in sync today, huh?
Oh, it's Lance Bass. God.
Yeah.
Oh my. He did his lines over a phone.
Did he really? That makes sense. So they contextualize it through Sephiroth being this ethereal creature.
Yeah, but it's and he also lied. He said I got fired from that because I was gay, and I'm like, no, you didn't. They recast you before you were out of the closet.
Yeah, your timeline's all fucked up, bud. That's funny.
Fuck off.
I didn't know that. But yeah, I mean, obviously, no one outside of us, knows Lance Bass as primarily the voice of Sephiroth. I mean, even I hear Lance Bass and I first think of NSYNC, but $300.
Like in his bio, now that like on his social media, I think every once in a while he'll have like first voice of Sephiroth on there.
Okay.
And I think he knows that that's ridiculous. I think he knows that
that's tongue in cheek. Yeah.
Well,
come on now with the tongue and all. Now. I should say, in fairness, he's not the most expensive. He's actually tied with Jim Cummings, who's also, a $300 price tag for a cameo.
You just said that the Disney actors aren't on.
Okay,
Cameo.
Sure. I meant like Mickey and Friends,
I'm sorry, is Pete not in Mickey and Friends?
Okay, fine. But like, he's the villain. He's the House of Mouse, the Mickey's Clubhouse bad guy, I don't think they're as protective over the Pete branding as they are with,
I'm going to beat your ass.
Again, the Sensational Six, different story entirely. Now, you can actually get some of these cameos for a bargain. If you're a particular fan of some of these characters, the cheapest cameo on here is for $15. You can get a cameo from the nameless star herself, Madison Davenport, for $15. That's going to be a steal because you know what? That price is going to go up as soon as we get some more KH content, right?
Side note, she was great, by the way.
She did a great job. So I would say invest early in Madison because KH4 comes out. That's not going to be a nameless star anymore. That's just going to be a plain old star. So
you have a lot of faith in what will happen on Keyboards 4.
Maybe too much faith. Also, a big story here. You can get the OG Pumbaa voice actor, Ernie Sabella, for $28. But $28 for like, a character from a time-honored classic movie? That's a steal. Newly added, this is the newest person I found when I was doing my cameo research. Beat, Crawford Wilson, the voice of Beat. You can get him for $40, and he's like brand new. Doesn't even have a profile picture yet, so.
When are you going to play Chewie?
I know, I've been avoiding it on my most recent...
The way that I was so mad during this playthrough when you did not play.
I did it twice.
I was like, oh, he's finally going to do it. No. What's the holdup? What's the deal?
Well, I guess the holdup is that I played the Switch, the final remix, a little bit of it. And I just wasn't in love with it. And that was prior to me ever streaming. I just didn't like it. I didn't really like how it controlled. And a lot of people say you got to play the DS original, which I could, acquire a legit DS. But then I'm committing to a very long multi-hour RPG within another multi-hour RPG under the context of this playthrough. I don't know. Maybe someday.
I guess you get a reprieve.
Yeah. Anything else of note here? A couple of organization members are here. Some aren't. There's some people that I'm surprised aren't on here. Like, what's Dave Boat doing that he's not cashing in on Cameo? Well,
I feel like most of these actors were like in their 50s 20 years ago. So like...
Yeah, that's true.
They got to be getting to retirement age. I think Bob Buchholz is getting to retirement age. And I think that Kirk Thornton, voice of Isa and Syx, has been taking over for him in voice direction because he directed Seven Rebirth alongside Buchholz.
Oh, okay.
I think so I think he's part of that team. So maybe he'll direct 4. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, well, you can't get Kirk Thornton on Cameo, so he's too busy.
No,
better. You gotta have... See, that's what I think about Cameo is that, like, I think other people in the VA community might, like, look down on you. It's like, oh, you're not booking enough that you gotta be recording videos on Cameo. So I feel like some people might treat it as like a mark of shame.
I mean, it could be very lucrative, but
I would do it.
It's also like, I know you would do so much.
Do a lot for money.
It's also very low effort,
right?
So like, it's not particularly glamorous, but it can yield really interesting things. Our friend Aid pulled the record scratch of the century with their Cameo.
Yes, the nominee. Reading the Daifugo, right?
Yes, which absolutely should have been a major problem.
Yeah, right.
Should not have done that, but I'm really glad that she did.
Yeah, and you too can have Megan Martin probably break protocol for $55.
Yeah, unless they've yelled at her to not do that anymore.
Right. Last year went to Reconnect, and Cameo's featured in a pretty major way there because they played messages from a couple of people.
I don't think I caught them all.
Yeah, I caught...
There were multiples, and I don't think
maybe Richard Epcar obviously was potentially there because he's clearly available for these things. But yeah,
I think Megan Martin was there too.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
I think she did. Guides, correct us. But
Yeah,
I mean, I think that's a really neat way to use them as well.
Yeah.
'Cause sometimes they can just be kind of dumb, and sometimes you can tell that the actors are like, they don't care. They're not like reading it or whatever. But I think that it's been pretty neat across the board. And it was really cool of Megan to do that.
That's probably all I've really got for Cameo. But I would encourage, if you're, you got some disposable income and you got like a character you really like, go check it out, because, you love Nightmare Before Christmas, Jack Skellington, $100. So, I mean, that's like a steal in my book. Yeah. Moving on. Let's do a little exercise, because we talked about this earlier. What, exercise? I know. No, I think we should take a look at characters that are, as of yet, unvoiced, and maybe try and speculate who they're going to be played by. We have a couple of candidates from the Union Cross era. Maybe we would have heard them sooner rather than later because of Missing Link, but gonna have to wait a little bit longer. Well, Strelitzia is one who had a Japanese voice actress already, right, in the Cage 4 trailer. So I'm sure people are hard at work doing the corkboard conspiracy thing, trying to figure out.
I don't think anybody cares more than we do in this moment.
Ah, gotcha.
But it's still worth discussing. It's still worth having fun thinking.
Yeah. And, I really don't know what route to take with it, because it's like, are we going to go the route of the sort of B-listy, Disney sphere kind of people, or maybe more career, voice actor types?
You really don't know. And the characters pop up unexpectedly all the time. Like, I never would have guessed that Strelitzia was going to be in Kingdom Hearts 4.
Yeah.
Particularly not like the second fucking character you see on screen.
Right. Like to the point where, we're pretty brain rotted on this stuff. And I remember the first time I watched the trailer, I was like, wait, really? Like, am I seeing this right? So, yeah.
A lot of people being like, is that Kyrie? No, it's not Kyrie.
Come on.
Okay, I feel like I gotta flip a coin on that one.
Maybe.
But I'm gonna flip it. Let's see, just real quick.
Okay,
it's heads. I'm not.
All right, you're safe.
I'm not. Okay. But yeah, sure. Let's get into it. I think the hard thing about this, like what you were alluding to, is going to be that like either they're going to be well-known people or like anime voice actors,
right?
Kind of easy to guess, or it'll be some pool teenager from a show that I don't watch. Like,
yeah.
I don't watch Disney right now. Disney shows. Like I don't really watch anything. I can't think of a show that I'm watching that's on right now that has like teenage actors.
Yeah, me neither. Maybe Euphoria. I don't watch it, but that's a thing, right?
They are all in their 40s at this point.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. Okay. I think we're gonna get a Stranger Things kid for one of these Kingdom Hearts characters. I think it's gonna happen.
Well, yeah, sure.
I think pencil Finn Wolfhard in to be the voice of Brain.
I think he's getting too famous.
Too famous.
I think of those kids, he's the one that will be on an Oscar track at some point. But maybe.
Well, maybe we'll get Natalia Dyer for Strelitzia. Too old.
Okay, say more.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think of
what
like,
does she do? What has she been in? What is her?
All I can think of is Stranger Things.
Okay, my guess for Strelitzia is Katana Turnbull.
Tell me more.
Who she was in the Lemony Snicket Netflix show.
Oh, okay.
As Carmelita Spatz.
Okay, gotcha.
Evil little redhead girl.
Yeah.
Annoying, whatever. The reason why I'm picking her, though, is because a couple of years ago, she was in Neo Twoey, kind of shockingly. And she was great. She was hilarious. She played Coco the Reaper. She had like a perfect anime voice. It was surprising. So I looked her up. Because I was like, well, she's done stuff for Square already. She's kind of younger. Being a redhead, not compulsory, but,
yeah, typecasting
doesn't
much.
hurt. And she's kind of made that pivot into doing anime roles now. Like, doing video games and doing anime stuff. And I think that, like, she's kind of the best of all the worlds.
Yeah.
I think that she sounds appropriate for the voice, and I guess we'll just see what happens.
I like that. You sold me. I've seen Series of Unfortunate Events, and I remember her being funny.
In general, the Persona cast is probably a good group of people to look at.
Yeah, maybe like Erica Harlacher.
I think that she'd be great as Strelitzia.
I feel like I read somewhere that she did like additional voices for 3, but I don't know if I could verify that. It's not like a named character anywhere, but she could have been like an NPC in San Fran or Olympus or something. And she was in what's her name? Kyrie in FF7 Rebirth, like the new girl with the.
Oh, you know what? I think you're right.
So she's with the Square stuff now. So I'd like to see her in it. Yeah.
You know who else is from the mobile games that's absolutely going to be in Kingdom Hearts 4 that we know for sure? Sigurd.
Yeah, Sigurd. And you know what? We have a friend and also a patron who does some voice acting. Big fan of Sigurd.
That is true. Our friend Sunny Novus is.
So that's my pick.
That's my biggest push.
Yeah.
And he's making it happen for himself.
Yeah.
That's a fun thing. But in case it isn't him, which he was the first on my list as well. In case they go for a screen actor, I do have to say that for me, hard requirement is that it's British. I don't know why the person.
It's because Sunny Novus. It's because.
But here's the thing: before I even met Sunny, I read Sigurd as British, and I don't know why.
Maybe we'll have to look at his dialogue and see if there's maybe just the way his sentences are.
The dialogue is very formal.
Yeah.
And I think that because dialects in English don't really exist the exact way that they do in Japanese, I think that they hack that by making people who speak formally like that British.
Right.
So I think that maybe that's why. But I don't think I'd be wrong. My pick for him, if it's not Sunny, is Roman Griffin Davis, who was Jojo Rabbit. Did you see Jojo Rabbit?
No, I know nothing of this. Wasn't that like the Nazi movie?
Well, there are Nazis.
Got it. That's like all I know about it.
He's brilliant in it, and he's still acting, and he's like a little British boy.
So,
he's not a little British boy anymore. He's like he's like probably in his early 20s now. So that would kind of be like my pick in my limited knowledge of actors who are somewhat age appropriate for this character that we've never heard before.
Right. I mean, who knows how old Sigurd is supposed to be? I guess because I could
sound older.
Right, I could read him as being in not that Kingdom Hearts really gets to ticky-tack with what characters' actual ages are, but I could read him as being in his 40s for all we know.
Sigurd is the narrator for both the Missing Link trailer and the 4 trailer, and there's a noticeable difference
interesting
in age between the two. So I think he is a teenager.
Okay.
I think he is Kingdom Hearts protagonist age.
Gotcha.
In Missing Link, and I think that he's probably an adult in 4.
Okay, makes sense.
So,
well, I say, I don't know, Benedict Cumberbatch, throw him in. Daniel Craig.
Sure.
Get one of them.
Yes, absolutely.
Probably cheap.
I think that they're all available, have nothing else going on.
Yeah.
Do you have an idea for Brain?
Brain. Yeah, for some reason I'm feeling like he's a musician. Like a singer. I don't know why.
Sure. It's the fedora.
It might be the fedora. I might be getting like 2000s Panic at the Disco vibes, perhaps.
He's a little J-poppy.
Yeah, a little J-poppy, a little scene kid, maybe.
I could see it. Well, here's my question. Do you think the intention is for him to have the same voice actor as Ericus?
Ooh. Well, in that case, it might be Drake Bell getting more work, right?
Well, here's the thing. There are 3 possibilities here. There are 3 possibilities here, and I think that they're all worth considering.
Sure.
1, they're supposed to have the same voice, which we don't know. I don't think he does in Japanese. So we'll put
that might throw a wrench into
Possibility 2. We don't know if Brain and Lushu are supposed to have the same voice.
Yeah, we still don't know.
Or the same face.
Right.
We don't really know what that was about.
Yeah.
So it's a possibility that it could have been or was supposed to be Max Middleman.
Right.
Put a pin in
I kind of hope it is, because I feel like Max Middleman kind of got screwed. Otherwise,
I know, right?
All right, well, back cover, and this is going to pave some roads for me, and then it's going to be James Patrick Stewart again.
Personally, I would love if they just kind of united the whole trio of loud, annoying, and very annoying. Do you know what lava is?
No.
Okay. So probably should have talked about this earlier. Around the time that Kingdom Hearts 3 was in development, Ray Chase had kind of come to prominence, kind of a breakout star with Noctis in Final Fantasy 15. This was before he got cast as the Master, or maybe around the same time. He became really good friends with Max Middleman and Robbie Damon, who is in Persona. He's in a bunch of stuff. And they kind of made this comedy, improv, voice actor, live streaming trio called Loud, Annoying, and Very Annoying. And they would stream weekly, and it was kind of the first time that the voice actors in the series kind of pivoted to doing live stream as well, and like playing the games that they're in and talking about it. Like this was 10 years ago. They don't really do it anymore. They've all kind of gone on, and they're all doing different things now. I think that they're making games now. Like, okay. I know that Ray directed Date Everything.
Oh wow,
the dating sim game. I would love it if Robbie Daymond was Brain. I think that he can do it. I think that he'd be appropriate. I think he looks like Brain, which doesn't really mean anything. But
sure. Yeah, that'd be fun. Actually, I thought of one other thing. Let's talk about, because I feel like people could use some record straightening here with Remind, with the audio quality on some of the voice actors and some of the mixing there. Now, was some of that impacted by COVID?
Two things are true that I think is important to know about the modern era of Kingdom Hearts recording. You're right. COVID shutdowns were not a thing when they recorded Remind.
Right.
I do think that they impacted melody of memory. I think that's on the record.
I mean, in the literal sense that they had to change Kingdom of Corona to Fairy Tale Kingdom.
True. But I do think that they said that it impacted Melody of Memory's development, and that Melody of Memory was actually supposed to be out earlier than what it was. Also, Kingdom Hearts 3 and Remind are the first time in the series, I believe, or at least the most lenient when it came to not recording everything in Los Angeles. Haley Joel Osment talks about how they let him record outside of LA. I think some people just recorded from home. And I think even without COVID, that is becoming more commonplace now, where there are satellite recording booths. There are places that you can rent pretty much in any major city that has, time where you can rent a sound engineer for a couple of hours and they will get it sorted. I think the more likely thing is probably that they were in a bind with some of these actors where they're like, well, you were in the base game. Like, we can't recast you.
Right.
We have to make this work.
Yeah.
And I think that they hold out and they try to make things work. Some of it really is awful. I don't know what happened to Tara.
I mean, also, I think to an extent, it's more maybe a mixing issue than like the voice acting itself. Like, I'm sure if you heard the line and it wasn't being, drowned out by whatever replicas or whatever is playing, it's probably fine. But it's just like, it's got Sonic Adventure mixing for some reason.
Speaking of, scheduling and conflicts and stuff, do have to acknowledge the very singular, strange situation of Rapunzel in Kingdom Hearts 3. Just throwing that one out there as well, because it's very weird. This is the only time anywhere where Mandy Moore does not play Rapunzel.
And I like to joke that she feels burned because they didn't bring her back to Biarritz too, so she's like, I'm not going back to Kingdom Hearts.
The sound-alike's name, I think, is Kelsey Lansdowne.
Yeah, that's right. I just remember seeing it when I was Cameo researching.
Crazy. And also, she does a fantastic job.
Yeah,
almost
she did great.
unclockable.
Yeah.
Almost unclockable. What I believe happened based off of my eyeballs is that This Is Us was happening, and that Mandy was just too booked. And I think that they waited as long as they possibly could.
Yeah.
Because if you go and you look at old trailers, Rapunzel is the only character that doesn't have a voice in some of the English trailers until very late in development.
Okay,
I think they waited as long as humanly. Like, you'll go back and watch, and there will just be scenes where everything is going along, and Rapunzel inexplicably is just snucking in her kind of way. She's just not saying anything.
Holding
and she
for
does
Mandy Moore.
Japanese.
Yeah, because
crazy.
She is the black sheep there, because they did get Donna Murphy for Gothel. They got what's his name, the Flynn guy.
Who fucking cares?
I don't remember. They even got Pascal and Maximus.
It is crazy that it's not her in 3, but it's not, and we got to say something about it.
Yeah. This had me thinking, just as like a random one-off sort of activity here. Who's the most famous person that's been in a Kingdom Hearts game? Is it Leonard Nimoy?
Oh,
is it Mark Hamill?
It might be Christopher Lee.
Yeah. The OG, Ansem the Wise, for those that don't know.
I mean, Haley Joel Osment might be young, but he's not the one of the most famous people.
I mean, he's probably top 10.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd be like, for me though, for my like specific age bracket, I think Jesse McCartney is more famous than HJO.
Yeah, probably.
Sucks when you're nobody eclipses you.
I mean, ironically, Isabella
Merced.
Her last name is not Monair anymore, it's Merced.
Yeah.
who I called an unknown when I interviewed Ray Chase, is popping off.
Yeah.
Now.
That reminds me that Willa Holland is like the first person where I knew her first from Kingdom Hearts, and I feel like she's gotten more famous since.
Yeah, I mean, that can happen.
Yeah, good for her.
I often wonder if Ava ever comes back, if she'll have another voice actor.
Yeah, maybe she's
also,
too busy.
You didn't bring up Skuld as a potential.
I'm so sorry. I know everyone loves Skuld, and
I know my heart tells me that Jeremy Lee, who's Makoto in Persona, would be a great Skuld.
Okay,
but also, if you know, you know. I think that there's a good possibility that Ava and Skuld are either the same person or a version of the same person. So.
Right.
Gonna tuck that one away for a while. We'll see if that ever has
pull that one out later.
But yeah, audience members, you don't know this because I never talked about it on the show, but that's my biggest Kingdom Hearts conspiracy, is that they're the same person.
And I get to see PJ argue with Keynote and Otto and others about this at least once a year.
Otto at least gets where I'm coming from. Keynote just loves to be insufferable. So that's where we're at with that.
Yeah. I just thought of one more last random thing.
Right.
Do you know who the oldest person by birth date is to be in a Kingdom Hearts game as a voice actor? It's like
living or has
they have since passed, but it's just crazy to me to think about when this person was born and the fact that they are in a Kingdom Hearts game.
I don't remember his name, the guy that played Uncle Scrooge.
You are correct. Alan Young, born in 1919, voice Scrooge.
Say he was 90 in Birth by Sleep.
Yeah.
I remember that being a big deal.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, like, that man saw a lot, including giving Ven lifetime passes to Disney Town. But yeah, that's all I've really got. Obviously, it's a bit scanter on my side because there's fewer games and less goings on. I guess we could also mention there was that tweet or Instagram or something from HJO about being back in the booth, and everyone freaked out. That was like a sort of recent happening in between season 1 and 2. Back in the booth?
You want to do our letter? Let's 2 hours. Fuck, we're at 2 hours. Okay.
Let's do our letter.
Bacon. This one is from, I believe their name is pronounced Hermes. It could be Hermes, but the gay fashionista in me wants to say it's Hermes.
What's up, Herm?
Hi, Pat and PJ. Big fan of the pod here. Season 1 was great. Season 2 was just announced when they wrote this. This person says that they are one of the weirdest people in our audience because they have not played Kingdom Hearts.
I always love when this happens.
They've listened to season 1 and some of the extra stuff, and they've binged you separately afterwards.
Okay.
They've never played Kingdom Hearts.
How did that even happen?
I don't know. They when they were 11 years old, I guess they had the Dream Drop demo on their 3DS and left it alone after a minute because they were like, nope. So I asked this person, I said, with all due respect, how the fuck did you find us?
Yeah, I'm so curious. If you don't play,
the answer will shock you. Cartoon Buffoon is how they found us.
That's awesome. That's great.
They found us through the Disney animated show video that Buffoon did about Disney cartoons getting Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah. Buffoon talked to me before making that, kind of asking for my blessing on, like, it's like a spiritual follow-up to a series that I did about what worlds I think could be in KH4. Yes. So that's like the spiritual part 4 to that.
Yes, and Buffoon gave you credit.
Yeah.
And through that credit, this person found us.
See, just goes to show you credit any and everybody when you're making these sorts of videos because you can lead people down a rabbit hole.
Also interesting that despite the fact that you don't talk about when our show is on, where you can find it anywhere, they were still able to find it through you.
Sorry, I mean, what am I supposed to do? Plugs at the
end? I listened to your whole episode with Andrew Bluette, and you did not mention once that the show was coming back, what the URL was,
I'm sorry.
The Patreon link is.
So self-centered.
You have yet to tag anybody in your Discord about season 2.
All right. See, episode. The problem is that it drops on stream days, and I don't want to bother people twice in a day.
I'm sorry, Hermes. This was not about you. This was a conduit for us hashing it out. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you found us. They just want to know, outside of the first Kingdom Hearts game, if we had any recommendations about like what the best first game to get into the franchise is, if not the first game. Yeah, it's so hard to recommend anything but the first.
Oddly, I think Melmem is a decent entry point, because not only do you get a recap, but you get like the best part of all the games, which is the music. So like the first or the most recent game, really.
I think that's a decent thing. I think that's a good thing too, because it's like, you know, you kind of get the game's nonsense up front with the recaps as well. It's like, if we're losing you here, I don't think you could come along.
You can't handle. You can't
hang. You know, in another world, I would have said that like the mobile games could be a fun point of entry if you like mobile games, which I don't think anybody does.
Nope.
Just because they, you know, they're on a separate storyline, they're outside of time. Ironically, Dream Drop is not a bad place to start. It has a very similar recappy vibe.
And it's only uphill from there gameplay-wise.
That's true. You should flip
a coin.
I would make you flip a coin right now if we weren't wrapping up.
Yeah. You know, a lot of people started with Days, like Keynote as an example. A lot of people that had the DS, you know, because the DS was such a huge console. We probably talked about this in the Days episode, but their first KH game was Days. And, you know, in the grand scheme of things, kind of a confusing place to start, but it is also like so Roxas-centric that you as the player is sharing headspace with this character, and that you're thrust into this new environment. You don't really know what's going on. So I think it's a unique experience that I kind of am jealous that I didn't get to have. But I'd much prefer starting, you know, with one.
First game is the best, but I think the confusion of Kingdom Hearts is a feature. It's not a bug.
Yeah, I agree.
Every game inherently and purposefully puts you in a narrative situation where you don't know what's going on. And every game also tries to start you off from like a fresh start. Like, characters usually have like some sort of memory damage, or you're starting off at the beginning of their
You're very
journey.
EP.
I think that 3 really is the only one that doesn't do like a little bit of hand holding at the beginning of getting you into like what the series is.
Yeah, you're right.
So I honestly think that like if you wanted to start anywhere, just if you're only in it to play the games and have fun, just pick up a game and have fun.
Yeah.
And that's my bit of advice.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, gosh, Pat,
this is
tried
great
to make this one shorter, and it's still 2 hours long, David. I'm sorry.
Sorry, David. You can cut a lot of my bullshit, probably.
I can probably cut a lot of mine, too. Sorry. Go watch our March Caprice episode about Kingdom Bacon.
Oh, it's so fun.
Primer. It's just a lot of fun. I think we should I think that's a thing that people could play. I think.
Yeah.
When Aid's on, I'm gonna beg them to make a site for Kingdom Bacon.
Yeah, I think it's very doable too. I mean,
I think so too.
You probably just gotta like link up the IMDb somehow and go from there.
It's gonna sweep the nation.
Yeah,
March Caprice hasn't happened yet, so you know, for all we know, that episode was hated and reviled.
There's no way.
Someone in the comments like, actually, Zendaya and Michi's a very lucrative point. Because
if I had seen that stupid Zendaya as Michi movie, I would have known that I actually could have gotten a connection through that. I DM'd you afterwards.
Know what that movie is.
Me neither. I have no idea what it's called. I looked it up 2 days ago and I forgot. But
thanks for listening to another fun episode of this.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
We're in season 2. We post episodes every other week. You can find all of our episodes, all of our bonuses, all of our extras, all of our links, all of our credits at nosadface.com. Huge thanks, of course, as always, to Esper for this incredible art, for David for the videos and for the music. I'm sorry that we're slapping this 2-hour episode together.
And thank you so much to our dedicated patrons.
Yes, absolutely. You can sign up for our Patreon at patreon.com/nosadface. QR code here. There are various tiers, but honestly, if you can't support us financially, the best thing that you can do is to spread the love. You could share our episodes on any social media with your friends. Clearly, even if you don't play Kingdom Hearts, it could be a good time.
If you're making videos, honestly, talk about us in the video and link our shit.
Yeah, leaving reviews on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts also, like, give the podcast platform some love is always nice. Rate us there, review us there. I know that subscribing is not a metric by which you should judge creators, and I know that it's not a thing, but it is a fact that most people who listen don't subscribe, and it would be nice to get us past the 2,000 subscriber point. I'm just saying. It would be cool as hell. So yeah, if you have a question, please send that in as well. nosadfacepodcast@gmail.com. We're always here for you, and we appreciate your support in any form that it comes. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Bye. And that's our show.
God, that is the biggest tumbleweed I have ever seen.
That's huge.
Side note, have you seen tumbleweeds like out
I have
in
never
the world.
seen a tumbleweed in person nor in weed.
I have seen, I've seen some horrific ones. What they don't tell you is that tumbleweeds can actually get to be the size of your fucking car.
Yeah, there's a great CGP Grey video about tumbleweeds, the trouble with tumbles.
He hates me.
What?
That's another job. That's another life and another job ago.